Honestly, I don't know how else to give this update, but the girl from my dream found me in real life.
This poster had a dream where she met another living, breathing person who was in the same shared dream space as her. And y'all, this is wild. So how she came to realize this was the person in her dream asked her what the time is. And this was around the time where people on TikTok were saying like, ask people in your dreams for the date or the time because it'll have weird effects. Some people say the dream gets kind of scary, like everyone in the dream suddenly knows that you know you're dreaming. That's been my experience lucid dreaming. Also, every time I realize I'm dreaming, everybody in my dream will stop what they're doing and like look at me. Very uncomfortable. I don't like lucid dreaming. So the girl in her dream asks her for the time, and she realizes that this girl is sharing a dream with her.
So when the girl in my dream asked me the date and the time, I'm like, why would I know the time? I'm asleep. But I gave her a date, which I didn't realize was the wrong date until I woke up. But that's how we kind of realized that she wasn't going to have the dream until a later date. So I decided, I'm like, well, you must be on TikTok because like to know to ask me that, so I posted a video so that she could find me in real life. I got tagged in a video this morning of a girl claiming to have had that same dream and remembers like that conversation. I don't know if I mentioned it in the first video, but I definitely said it in the second video about the dream, that I wasn't given all the details because I wanted to be able to compare notes. I didn't want somebody to just tell me, oh yeah, I had this dream, and I would know if like they were bull. If you think about it, it's a dream. Anything can happen in a dream. She came with the details. She mentioned things in her video that I didn't even mention in mine. Like she mentioned things I'd only ever told my partner. So nobody knew these details. We're in contact now. We're trying to figure out what it means. If anything, I'm sure it means something. We just don't know what it means yet.
Now, I couldn't find the original video that the poster was talking about where she talked about the dream in the first place in hopes of finding the girl that she met in it. But finally, with the help of my friend Susie, it was so hard to track down the other woman who she was talking about in this video, the woman who met her in the dream. And I'm sure this is the girl that the poster was talking about because the poster actually commented on this video and said, you are sharing details that I didn't even share in my video.
So this could be completely far-fetched, but I remember March 28th, 29th, because it was before I moved, I had a dream that I was on a girls' trip. Now this girls' trip, the way it was hosted is that we went to multiple locations. I recall us going to the beach, having drinks, and taking content for social media. But at the end of the dream, we were on a hike. On this hike, there's two girls with me. They're wearing shorts, tank tops with backpacks, and combat boots. So they're pretty much like dressed like Laura Croft. During this hike, I remember it being super hot because the sun was out and it's just beaming on us. And the girl to my right, she was like, okay, can we stop? I need a break. I'm like, no, we're almost there. We should keep going. And then the girl who was in front of me, she turns around and she's like, yeah, and I'm trying to get there before the sun comes up. I was like, what? What? That doesn't make sense. The sun is already out. So what do you mean the sun is coming up? Did this dream end in a hike, bro? I need to know. Like, did it end in a hike?
So this poster, Siona, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, she makes this first video. The poster comment on it is like, yeah, I mean, you are the girl from my dream. That's crazy. So she makes a secondary video kind of following up to that with just a bit more information.
So continuing where I left off from the first video, the woman had just said, yeah, I'm trying to get there before the sun rises. And I'm a person who's consciously aware in the dream state. I've only done like surface level research on astral travel and astral projection, so I don't know much about that. But I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense. If the sun is out in the dream, the sun would only be rising somewhere else. So I'm like, are you real? Does that mean like the sun is rising for you in the 3D? So I asked, are you real? And the person was like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued because I've never experienced this before. I was consciously aware with another individual, a stranger in fact, consciously aware in my dream, and they're consciously aware in the same dream, and then we became consciously aware of each other being conscious in this dream. I've never experienced this before. So I'm like, okay, I wonder if I could find this person in the 3D reality. So I asked, where are you? What time is it? I started asking other questions too, but it's like that reality, that dream state started to fade, and like that individual that I was talking to started to go inaudible. Like I couldn't hear them, and it started to blur. Like my vision started to blur, like a laptop or a cellular device shutting down. You see the screen fade. That's how it was. Like, okay, we're closing out this application now. It's time to get up. That's how the dream ended for me. I don't know. I don't know.
I find this story so fascinating, and it's actually really interesting. This story is why when I had my soulmate dream, because I had seen all of this like floating around a few weeks before that, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not that weird that I met my soulmate in a dream way before I ever met them in real life. This entire thing is just so fascinating to me. I just don't think that we understand what dreams even are. Like, I've heard of people sharing dreams before. I've heard of like twins having the same dreams, of being in each other's dreams and having the same memories of them when they wake up. I have also shared dreams with people that I'm very, very close with. So I know firsthand this isn't fake. I'm actually very curious if you've had an experience like that where you have connected with someone through dreams, a loved one, a stranger, whatever. Let me know. I'm actually so curious.